guys, and I hope you guys are having a great small group and that you guys are already played a game, had some yummy snacks, and are ready to dive into the discussion part of the night. So before we do that, we have one announcement, and that announcement is a big one, and it's Dodgeball! So Dodgeball is this Friday night, the 21st. It is from 7 to 9 p.m. You guys got to come with $5 and ready to rock and roll and have a great time. Come dressed in your team logo and design, whatever you guys decided. We have prizes for best costume and best team spirit, so make sure you guys get into it as much as possible. It's going to be so much fun. Time for all of us to hang out, play games, and to throw balls at Nick's head. So, right, what can be better than that? So, this weekend, it was kind of a heavy weekend. We were talking about knowing the heart of Jesus, and to know Jesus completely in the fullness of him is we need to know things that make him angry. And so that's a hard subject because things that make us angry are things that we have passions for and things that we're passionate about. This week we talked about 3 of the things that make Jesus angry. The list is long, but the first one was out of Matthew and John, where it talks about just the people misusing the temple. And so they were in there and they were selling things, they were, doing money changing, they were, whatever it was that they were doing, they weren't worshiping God. And so Jesus came in and he was ready to worship God, and the house was full of like a marketplace, like it was like farmer's market, but inside the church building, inside the temple. And so he was angry with that, and that his anger came from the fact that we were using the temple for something that we weren't supposed to be using it for. We were using the temple for things besides honoring God. And so in many places in the Bible, it talks about us being the church, about our bodies being the temple, and ways that we just misuse our body, not for the purpose that it was created. And so that purpose was to honor God and to glorify God, to point as many people to Jesus as possible. But too many times we get caught up misusing our bodies with rage and anger and sex outside of marriage and drinking and even lies and gossip and just talking bad about other people. We're misusing our bodies. The second thing that God gets angry for, and it's a confusing one if you read the passage, but it is also out of Matthew 21, and he talks about going to get a fig, and it reminds me of when Nick was talking about how hungry he was. So can you imagine Jesus a little like hangry? And so Jesus goes to get a fig from a fig tree, and there's no fruit. The whole tree is not producing fruit. And so Jesus places a curse on the fig tree, and the fig tree withers up and dies. The point of that is that the tree, Jesus was angry because the tree wasn't doing what its purpose was. Its purpose was to bear fruit, and it wasn't doing that. A lot of times, guys, we are not doing what we are here for, what we were created for, and it's to bring other followers to Christ. And so Jesus gets angry with that. He gets angry when we're not using our talents. If you have a voice that's amazing and you want and have a heart for worship and you're not using it, we're misusing our talents. If you're an evangelist and you like to tell people about Christ but you're scared and you don't want to, we're misusing our talents, and those are things that make Jesus angry. And finally, the last one, and this is a big one, and it's talking about if we are going to tempt other people into sin, if we're going to lead other people into sin, especially little ones, so little younger people than us. I mean, I even would think of it as like your little brother or sister. The Bible says that Jesus says that it's better to have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the ocean. Basically, Jesus is saying you're going to swim with the fishes. That's better than tempting other people. But yet we do it all the time, and it makes Jesus angry. We cause other people to stumble and to sin all the time. And Jesus says, I'd rather you just swim with the fishies than to do that. And so it's knowing that the things that make Jesus angry is what we should also be angry for. It's what we should be angry about. And I think that we don't. We get angry about traffic or about a long line at the drive-thru or about really hard homework or teachers that don't pay attention or he said, she said stuff. And we don't get angry about misusing the things that God's given us. We don't get angry about tempting other people. So tonight in your small groups, you guys are going to have a big who cares moment. Who cares what makes Jesus angry? Why should you and I care about that? I want to leave you guys with that question tonight. Why should you care about the things that make Jesus angry? What does that say about you? What does that say about Jesus? What does that say about us as a group? And then just being very careful that the danger with anger is that it doesn't turn into rage. And so we want to make sure that we're being productive with our anger. So if we are starting to fall in line with the things that make Jesus angry, just as long as we are doing something about it, we're not sitting there. So who cares? Answer that question tonight. We'll see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.